Alright, so we were discussing about this for a non-inverting amplifier with your A as infinity, your V2 equal to V1. So with that, when we write this expression, let me write it. So both currents are same. So if I equate the current, it is 0 minus this V1 divided by R1, which is this current flowing through resistance R1, which is equal to the same as V1 minus V out divided by R2. Right. Now, the only difference is your V1, now V1 and V2 will be equal. V1 and V2 are equal, and that is equal to V in, because V2 is not connected to ground, rather V2 is connected to V in. So if I write this expression V1 as V in, how I can do this further is, I can write this as V out by V in is equal to 1 plus R2 by R1. If I rearrange this expression, you will get this as the expression for infinite open loop gain. Alright. Is this what you are asking? Alright, yeah. So this is your output expression when your gain is infinity. Now, if you look at the effect of finite open loop gain in the same circuit, can you tell me what is the gain of this non-inverting amplifier with finite open loop gain? There is no difference. This expression holds good. This is good. 0 minus V1 by R1 is equal to V1 minus V out by R2. The only difference is we have to write your V2 and V1 in terms, because your A is not infinity, right? So the difference here is I should write this as V2 minus V1 into A is equal to V out. This is the expression what we can write for an op amp. Now, in this case, V2 is equal to V in. V2 is V in, there is no doubt in that. So how can I write V1? V1 is equal to V out divided by A. Let me just write it in this way. So V2 is V in minus V1 into A is equal to V out, or I can write it as V in minus V1 is equal to V out by A, or V1 is equal to V in minus V out by A. This is the only difference, right? Comparing with this inverting amplifier, there the relation what we have written is, this was the relation, V1 is equal to minus V naught by A. In this case, V1 is equal to V in minus V naught by A. That is only difference. Now we can bring back this V1 value in this expression, the same expression, which will result in the final expression for your gain. Are you guys trying? So what you will get is, I am just writing the final expression. You can do this. So your V out by V in will be equal to, what you have to do is you have to substitute V1 in this expression and rearrange. You will get it as 1 plus R2 by R1 divided by, you can rearrange in this form, 1 plus R2 by R1 divided by A. This is gain with the finite open loop gain. With the effect of finite open loop gain, the closed loop gain is equal to this. And here also, when you substitute your A as infinity, you will get that V out by V in is equal to 1 plus R2 by R1. So you can write this in different forms. We are reducing to this form such that by considering gain as infinity, open loop gain, when the open loop gain is infinity, it will go back to the previous expression, the same expression itself. Alright, so I hope this is clear. Any questions on this, on non-inverting amplifier? all these examples you can try by yourself and you can get the gain expression. Now in the previous case you saw that the input impedance is R1. Can you tell me what is the input impedance in this case for this non-inverting amplifier? What is the input impedance in this case? Any idea? Rn? Alright, look at this. This is the circuit. This is minus plus, input is connected here. This is connected to ground and you have a resistance here which is V out. Now can you tell me what is the input impedance seen at this node? Yes, because there is no current flowing to the terminals of an op-amp, so the input current is equal to 0. That will make your input impedance very high. So input impedance is infinity. So this need to be noted because for inverting amplifier you observed that input impedance is low and it is equal to R1. Now for a non-inverting amplifier what you have seen is input impedance is very high and that is equal to infinity. So even though we have looked at the finite open loop gain case in non-inverting and inverting amplifier, in general we will for at least for this course, for the rest of the topics we will always consider that A is infinity, which makes our analysis very easy by the virtual short property, right. So this you just keep in mind. For inverting amplifier input impedance is low and that will be equal to R1. For non-inverting amplifier it is high, which is equal to infinity. Alright, so if you have any questions you can put it in the chat. Now what we'll do is I'll just give you a numerical and we can work on that. The question is you have to design an amplifier to have a gain of minus 40 and input impedance of 5 kilo ohms using an op-amp which is ideal in all respects except that it has a finite gain of 600. Alright, so let me just write this as a part of the question. There are three parts. The first part is design an amplifier to have a gain of minus 40 and input impedance of 5k using an op-amp which is ideal in all respects except that it has a finite gain of 600. This is the first part. Now the second part of the question is in the same design, after designing the circuit. So in the design circuit, the question is what would be the gain if op-amp is replaced by an ideal one. So you have designed a circuit now, but the A part says that the op-amp has to the open loop gain is not infinity. But the second part is in the design circuit, if the op-amp had an infinite open loop gain, what would be the gain? Again, the second gain, the gain, the question is basically the closed loop gain of the circuit. Now one more part is there. What would be the modification? What would be the modification needed to obtain original gain with same input impedance? With same input impedance with an ideal op-amp. So these are the three parts of the question. All right. I hope the question is clear. Basically, there are three parts to the question. The first part is you have to design an amplifier having a gain of minus 40. So, can you tell me what gain this is? When it is asked for a circuit, design a circuit for a gain of minus 40, what gain is this? It is inverting gain. So, what I am asking is whether it is open loop gain or closed loop gain. It is closed loop gain. And the moment you see the minus sign here, what you have to do is the amplifier circuit is an inverting amplifier. Yes, that is another. So for the A part, after reading the A part, you can say that what the need is an inverting gain of minus 40, inverting gain of 40, right? So the circuit what I need to use is an inverting amplifier circuit, right? That is clear from the first part. Now read the rest. Also given that the input impedance of the circuit should be 5K and op amp is ideal in all respects except that it has a finite gain of 600, right? So what are the other additional informations given here? One information is given that the input impedance of the amplifier circuit should be equal to 5K and the op amp is not having an infinite open loop gain, rather it is having a finite open loop gain of 600, right? So these are the things given. So I don't know, are you guys getting the difference? Here it is asked to design for a gain of minus 40 and this is the closed loop gain. And it is given that op amp is ideal in all respects except it has a finite gain of 600, right? So the first gain given is the closed loop gain for the amplifier, and the second, the finite gain given for op amp is the open loop gain, right? So since we know that the circuit is inverting, I can go ahead and draw a circuit with minus plus. With this is V in, this is V out, this is R2, this is R1 and A here, and that A is 600, right? So one thing what we need to understand now here is your V out by V in should be equal to minus 40, and that can I write it as minus R2 by R1? Whether your V out by V in can be taken as minus R2 by R1? Can we take it as minus R2 by R1? We can take it as minus R2 by R1. Yes, we can take it as minus R2 by R1 only if your A is infinity. From our discussion, we know that when your A is finite, because in this case, if your A is infinity, you can take it as minus R2 by R1. But now, when your A is finite, you have to actually take the expression as this. Where is the expression? Yeah, this expression we have to take. A is finite, right? So, this is not what I should do. I should not take this expression here, rather I should consider the expression which considers the V out by V in should be equal to minus R2 by R1 divided by 1 plus R2 by R1 divided by A. This I should consider, right? Now given that A is, okay, I think from here it is clear, given that A is 600, this gain should be equal to minus 40. Now the moment you hear that it is designed, you have to find the values of R1 and R2. Yes, R1 and R2 values you should find. So any other conditions given? It is also given that input impedance is 5K. So for an inverting amplifier, input impedance, even though we have taken for the ideal case, here also you can directly take that as input impedance. Rn expression, Rn will be equal to R1, that can be taken as equal to 5 kilo ohms, right? Rn equals R1 equals 5K. With that you can find the value for R2, because rest everything is known. If I take Rn as R1 equal to 5K, you can find R2 value. Can I quickly tell? Yeah, R2 value is 214.664 kilo ohms. This is R2 value. 214.6 is the R2 value. So now the circuit is designed, right? So this is 5K and this is 214.6K. So the circuit is designed. Now read the rest of the question. What is the question saying? It says that, yeah, A part is done. Now the B part is, in the designed circuit, what would be the gain if the op-amp is replaced by an ideal one? What would be the gain if the op-amp is replaced by an ideal one? So how will I find that? So what would be the gain if op-amp is replaced by an ideal one? What gain it is again? The gain which is asked again is the closed loop gain. So if the op-amp is replaced by an ideal one, your closed loop gain will be equal to, now your gain V out by V in will be equal to minus R2 by R1. This is your V out by V in, right? So which will be equal to 214.64 kilo divided by 5 kilo, which is equal to, what is the value? I think Shaman got the answer. Yes, minus 42.9 is the closed loop gain, right? In the A part, you are asked to design a circuit with a gain of 40, and the op-amp is having finite open loop gain. But now, if the op-amp is replaced with an op-amp having infinite open loop gain, the closed loop gain will be equal to minus 42.9. All right. Now look at the third part of the question. What is the third part saying? The third part says that, what would be the modification needed to obtain original gain with the same input impedance with an ideal op-amp. So what modification I should do with the circuit to obtain original gain with the same input impedance with an ideal op-amp. So what is the scenario now? Let me write it here. The scenario now is, the C part says that, now we have the circuit, minus plus, this is the circuit, this is what we have designed. Yeah, now this is V out, this is V in, and the question says that we need to have the original gain. Original gain is that gain with the feedback. So let me write it as AF with the feedback, which is V out by V in. This should be equal to minus 40, right? And the op-amp is an ideal one with the same input impedance. What modification? Yes, I think R2 should be 200 kilo ohm. All right. Yeah. What I should do? I cannot change this. Let me mark it here. I should not change this. This should be 5 kilo ohm. This is an op-amp with an infinite open loop gain. So this is R1, this is R2. Now what I can do here is V out by V in will become now minus R2 by R1, because A is infinity, so it will become minus R2 by R1. That should be equal to minus 40 also, and R1 we should not change. So R1 is 5K. With that I can write R2 is equal to what? R2 is equal to 40 into 5, which is equal to 200K, right? Now if I want to get this, closed loop gain of minus 40, what extra thing I should do here? What should I do in order to maintain this? I already designed a circuit here with R2 values 214.6K. Now what should I do in order to obtain the original gain with the same input impedance? So what should I do with the same circuit? What modification I should make? That is a question. The modification required is your R2 should be changed to 200K. So if I am writing with respect to the previous circuit what I have designed, I should say that here I should actually connect a resistance in parallel to this R2, right? And let me call this as 1 second. let me call this as some R2 dash, right? Now in the previous in the example what we designed, first you have an R2 of 214.6. Yeah, you have to add a resistance in parallel to this, so I will write it here as R2 dash parallel to R2. This should be equal to 200k, right? Let me I don't know, you'll get confused if I use the same notation, right? I will just write this as the feedback resistance RF. This is RF. Now what is RF? RF is one more resistance in parallel, that should be equal to 200k. Now the previous R2 is your value. What is R2 value? It is 214.64k. So with that you can find the new R2 dash value. So if you put an R2 dash of what is the value? 2.932, yeah, 292, yeah, this is equal to 2.932 mega ohms, right? So if I want to get the same gain with the same input impedance with the previous circuit, the modification required is I should add a resistance in parallel to the existing R2, which is 214.6k, such that the parallel combination will give you a resistance of 200k, so that you will get a closed loop gain as minus 40. And for that, what I should do is I should add the additional resistance, which is having a value of 2.932 mega ohm resistance. Is that clear? Any questions on that? Alright, so if you have questions, please write it in the chat. So meanwhile, we'll quickly discuss one more circuit and then we'll take a short break. Alright, so we have heard about the circuit, right? Voltage follower before also. So can you tell me where we use this term, or where how we are familiarized with this term of voltage follower? Where did we see this question of discussed about voltage follower before? Common collector in BJT, yes. Alright, CC configuration. Yeah, so here and if you remember, what are the features of a common collector configuration, or when it is used as a voltage follower, what are the features? What are the expected features? Yeah, gain is equal to 1. Gain is equal to 1. Apart from that, what about input impedance? What should be the input impedance and what should be the output impedance? Yeah, Rin should be equal to infinity and Rout should be equal to less or 0. This is what in general we say. So this we say as the input impedance should be high and this should be equal to, this should be low. And when we have such a circuit, it is easy for us to connect from a high impedance source to a low impedance load, right? Because the whole point why we discuss about this voltage follower is, say you have a source which is having an impedance of say some 100 kilo ohms, right? Now this is the source, this is the node, and now I am connecting this with a low impedance node. Say the low impedance node here is this is equal to say some 10 ohms, right? Very low. What will happen if I have 1 volt here, and when I connect this source with 100 kilo ohm with a high impedance source, so this I will say as high impedance source, and this way say as low impedance node, low impedance load. What happens if I directly connect, the voltage available here Vout will be, what will be Vout? Vout is equal to 1 into 10 ohms divided by 100k plus 10, which will be very small, right? Even though 1 is the voltage, 1 volt we have, the voltage across 10 ohms will be very, very low. So that means we cannot directly connect a high impedance source to a low impedance load. What we generally do is we connect something in between, and that block is called as voltage follower, or like that is what we connect in between, which will have a gain of 1 so that the signal will not be disturbed, but this will offer you a very high impedance so that the entire voltage will be available here, and this will offer very low impedance such that the entire voltage will be connected to the load as well. This is what the basic idea of actually bringing in a voltage follower. We have discussed this enough before. Now what we will do is, so if the requirement is this, so far we discussed only two circuits, one is inverting and another one is non-inverting. So what did you say, which circuit is preferred if I want to have a voltage follower with an op amp, which is preferred, inverting is preferred or non-inverting is preferred? By looking at the overall need, yeah, non-inverting is preferred. Why non-inverting is preferred? Inverting we cannot use because what I need, as the input impedance is very, very high, and for inverting there is a limitation in input impedance. So this is what we exactly needed. So this is V in, this is V out, this is R2 and this is R1. This is your non-inverting configuration, right? But what I need here is not with a gain of 1 plus R2 by R1. Instead what I need is a gain of 1, and input impedance also should be equal to infinity. So input impedance is infinity, that is from here itself we can say input impedance is infinity. So what modification I should do for this circuit? If I can make R2 equal to 0, what happens when your R2 equals 0? Yeah, we can short this, and when your R1 is equal to infinity, I can open this. Like when your R1 is infinity, I can open this, that means there is no resistance R1 as such. R2 equal to 0, I can short that point, right? So when I make these two changes, what happens here is you will have an op amp with minus plus. I will short output back to input, and here this is V in and this is V out, right? Now if I look at this, we know that what is input current? Input current is equal to 0, therefore input impedance will be equal to infinity, right? Now a feedback exists and say your A is infinity. If your open loop gain is infinity, I can say that what is other thing? Your output is connected back to the inverting input terminal. So as before, if I write this as V2 and if I write this as V1, I can write V2 minus V1 into A is equal to V out, right? Now what is A here? A is infinity. If your A is infinity, I can write V2 is equal to V1, right? Now what is V2? V2 is equal to V in. What is V1? V1 is equal to V out. That means your V in is equal to V out. Basically this will give you a gain of unity, right? So a gain of unity, input impedance of infinity, output impedance of 0 because it is already shorted, that will give you so this is the equivalent, or this is how you can configure op amp as a voltage follower, which is a very useful configuration which is used in many circuits. Alright, so I'll just give you one more numerical, and with that we will break now and then we'll resume after some time. So take this question. This is V out, R1 is 1K, R2 is 9K, this is peak voltage is equal to 1 volt, this RL, this is also equal to 1K. Yeah. The question is here. The question is, find what is this current. This current is marked as I naught, and the question is, what is this current? All right. So try solving this. We'll take a short break now. So welcome back to this lecture of AMC. So far we looked at some useful configurations of op-amp like inverting, non-inverting and voltage amplifier. We'll continue from there and we'll start with one important configuration called as difference amplifier or differential amplifier. Using op-amps. Right. So the idea behind this difference or differential amplifier is, we have seen what is a single-ended signal and what is a differential signal. So the idea behind a differential amplifier is this amplifier respond to the difference between two signals which is applied at the input terminal. So if there are two, the basic thing is there are two input signals. So this amplifier responds to difference between two input signals. Right. Now one more important feature of this differential amplifier is while amplifying the difference between the signals available at the input, it should also reject the signals which are common to both the inputs. That is another feature or the expected feature of this. So it should reject signals that are common to the inputs. Right. So these two features are something very important for a differential amplifier or a difference amplifier. The amplifier should respond to the difference between two signals. At the same time, the amplifier should reject the inputs which are common. So if there is a difference, it should amplify, and whatever is coming in common, the amplifier should reject it. Right. So keeping these two definitions or keeping these two features in mind, how we can write the expression for output voltage for a differential amplifier is, we can write it as V0 is equal to V out or V0. The output voltage of this differential amplifier can be written as so when there is a difference in the input signal, so that difference I am expressing it as VID, where VID represents the difference in the input signals. That should be amplified. So that amplification factor I am marking it here with a notation as AD. At the same time, if there are any common signals, so the signals common I am marking it as VCM, that should be rejected. So I am actually giving another term here which is called as ACM. Right. So if you look at this VID is the differential input signal. This is the differential input or the difference input, and this is called as differential gain. This is called as differential gain. Now VCM is the common mode input signal. This is common mode input, and this is called as common mode gain. Right. Maybe now you can tell. So what is the requirement? What should be the value of ACM and what should be the value of AD ideally? Or what are we expecting out of this AD and ACM? The expected value of AD should be very high and the value of ACM should be very low, or practically in ideal case ACM should be equal to 0, right? ACM should be equal to this should be equal to 0 and this should be equal to, this should be a high value. very high. So why I am telling this should be equal to 0, because the circuit should not respond to a common signal. So even though there is a common signal, when it is multiplied by with a common mode gain of 0, that becomes nullified, right? That is what our expectation is. Now, how will I define this VID? Say for example, so we got to know that there are two signals at the input, right? Say one signal is V1 and another signal is V2. Now with V1 and V2, I can represent VID, which is the difference, which is marked as V2 minus V1. This is the different signal. And how will I represent the common mode signal of this? Whatever is common in both the inputs. So generally we represent it as V1 plus V2 by 2, which is marked as the common mode signal. V1 plus V2 by 2, which is the average of two signals. Yeah, whatever is common will come in VCM as V1 plus V2 by 2, and whatever is the difference is V2 minus V1. Is this part clear? Can I get some response in the chat? Is this part clear? A differential amplifier is an amplifier which should respond to a difference input and should reject the common signal, right? So with that, let us quickly look at one simple example where it involves the calculation of this differential and common mode signals, right? The question is this: determine the output voltage of a differential amplifier for the input voltages of 300 microvolt and 250 microvolt. There are two input signals. One is 300 and another one is 250 microvolt. The question is to find the output voltage. Given that the differential gain of the amplifier is 5000, and here we are introducing one more term. I'll talk about this. CMRR, common mode rejection ratio, is let us say 100. Common mode rejection ratio is 100. Now the automatic question is, what is this common mode rejection ratio? Common mode rejection ratio can be defined as, let me do that here, it is the ratio of differential gain to the common mode gain. So can you tell me what is the expected common mode rejection ratio, the value? General, ideal case. If your common mode gain is 0, the common mode rejection ratio should be infinity. So practically for all the infinity, yeah. So practically for all the cases, what we look for is a high differential gain, low common mode gain, and a very high common mode rejection ratio, right? I think the answer which has come from Shamant, yeah, that is the answer you are telling, 50. What is 50, Shamant? Okay, maybe I think. Please work out this question. The question is determine the output voltage V0 of a differential amplifier. So what we can write is output voltage V0 is equal to AdVd plus ACM VCM. Then the next part is you should find what is VID and VCM, right? What is VID? VID is V2 minus V1 or V1 minus V2. So we have higher voltage 300. So it is 300 microvolt minus 250 microvolt, which is equal to 50 microvolt. That is the difference voltage. Now the common mode signal is V1 plus V2 by 2, which is equal to 300 micro plus 250 micro divided by 2, which is 550 by 2, which is equal to 275 microvolt. Right, so VID and VCM we got. Now what to do? Just move to the next page. Alright, so these two things we have. Now you should find the output voltage, right? For output voltage, we have this VID now, VCM now, AD is there, and ACM. Yeah, everything is there. Then you can find it. So what is V out? V out is equal to AD is 5000 into 50 microvolt plus 100 into 275 microvolt. That will give you any answer for that? 263.75. Yes, 263.75 microvolt is the output voltage. Right? This is how in general we find the output voltage. So the question can be of any type, right? You may be asked to find the output voltage, or you may be asked to find what is AD or ACM by giving some of the quantities unknown, right? So I'll, in continuation with this, I'll give you one more question. You can try it later. An op-amp has a differential gain of 70 dB and common mode rejection ratio of 90 dB. If V1 is equal to 3 microvolt and V2 equals 2.6 microvolt, calculate differential and common mode input values. The differential gain of op amp is given, CMRR is given, V1 and V2 voltages are given. Now you are supposed to find the differential and common mode input values, meaning you should find what is VD and what is VCM, right? Okay, this is not input values, the question is output values. Instead of directly asking what is V out, we know that V out is AD into VID plus ACM into VCM. Instead of asking what is V out directly, they are asking this part and this part separately. Alright, so you can try this. We will, maybe tomorrow we will discuss. Or you want to try it now? Yeah, Sanket, I saw your question now. Gain in dB has to be converted back to gain and then we have to solve it. Yes. Because the voltages are given, it is given in volt, right? So you have to do that. You have to do that conversion. Yeah, maybe this question we can discuss the next day. You can solve it.